Namibia's parliament is lit these days. The new generation of politicians are making quite a name for themselves and causing a bit of a stir. One of the thicker thorns in Parliament's side is Bernardo Swartboy, who was fired by President Geingob in December 2016 and consequently started his own party, the Landless People's Movement. They are making sure that their presence in Parliament is felt.
Therefore, there must from time to time be a semblance of a few things that that foundation is doing, regardless of our differences with Daniel Utoni Nyoma, the son of Sam Safishuna. Now,
sit down. Yeah, please. Order.
Normally we don't respond to caricatures.
Henry, you are not on the floor. Let allow your colleague to
Utoni,
talk.
sit.
You are not on the floor.
Intelligent people are talking. Idiots must sit down. And run to your lawyer. Run to your lawyer. You go and report like a little child. Oh, yes, sis. You have even been demoted now.
Order. Is that all?
Can I speak?
Yes, please. Proceed. How many?
Fed up with what? You are fed already.
Yeah.
May I proceed, please?
Yes.
Yes. Now, despite our differences with Utoni Nyoma, hey, for wie sê jy? You idiot, for wie sê jy? For wie sê jy? Shut up and sit, man. Shut up and sit. Because now you look like you have a better suit, you want people to see. No, you are even demoted like a dog. Sit. Keep quiet.
Order.
Keep quiet. You are a disgrace to your father. Sit. Shut up.
Swartboy.
Sit.
Please.
Sit. You're inferior.
Boy.
You can't manage anything. Shut up.
You can common sense, I have distance. Common sense, I have a distance.
There is sufficient.
You may recall that long before the so-called fish road expose, you may recall that long before the so-called fish road expose, during the February 2018, I requested several cabinet ministers to respond to allegations of corruption
Let's have order, please.
leveled against them. 4 billion that could have gone to corruption. 4 billion. That's action. That's action.
No.
We launched investigation.
Order. No. We need order. We cannot continue. No. We cannot continue with it.
Why don't you wait and ask questions? There is a question time.
We need order. Please sit down, please. Sit down. Please, sit down, please. Sit down, please.
We launched. Why don't you listen, please?
Please.
What is that?
No, we need order. If you don't want to listen, then I think you should allow those who like to listen to listen.
You know, I'm older than your mother. Now I'm older. This will translate into a savings. So you must hold me properly. Also.
Please,
address me properly.
Order.
Address me properly.
Please. Oh, okay, order. Please. Okay, order,
are calling
please.
me names here?
Yeah. Thank you. No. That's getting... Thank you. We need order, please. No. Please, let's get order, please. Please. Hold, please.
That is the problem.
Presidential spokesperson Alfredo Hengari requested an interview with our news crew, and we asked him what he makes of the new blood in Parliament.
The parliamentary chambers must be a site for robust, intelligent debates. But the element of civility is key, because a republic, by its very nature, is about civility. It's about respect. And in this country, Namibians elect a president directly. Meaning, when the president is speaking, when he's everywhere, he is the expression of our will as Namibians. Whether you elected him or not, but the moment he becomes president, it is assumed and accepted that the president is the legitimate expression of the Namibian people. Now, in parliament, when he speaks, he's speaking to Namibians, all Namibians, because the SONA is a constitutional requirement. So he's speaking to the nation. He's not only speaking to members of parliament members of parliament in that chamber. He's speaking to Namibians. So we ought to be respected as Namibians by those who act in a certain way. They are basically saying we don't respect you enough. That's why we are dealing with the president in this manner, because we don't respect you enough. Because the president, as I've mentioned, is elected by us. Is an expression of our sovereign will as Namibians. Now, people in those chambers are called honorables. There's a reason for that. Because they must demonstrate a very high level of civility. They must express the best of us in terms of intelligence, in terms of conduct. Unfortunately, some of these things were lacking. And I hope that was the first and the last. And all of us as citizens should also hope that it was the first and last for the person who's been elected by us to represent us, to speak for us, for that person to be disrespected in that manner. So all of us, you as citizens, we have the reason. We have reasons to say no to this type of conduct, yes to intelligent debates, yes to intelligent questioning, but no to rude behavior, because that's not who we are as Namibians. That's not who we should be. That's not the example honorables should show to ordinary citizens.
Our leaders seem to have great difficulty swallowing some very basic truths, including the fact that they have, through systemic corruption, failed the people of this beloved country. Whilst many have described the energy powering the youth in parliament as disrespectful, we need to always remind our leaders of just who is serving who. LPM leader Bernardo Swartboy spoke to our news crew about the fire that they are bringing to parliament just after the State of the Nation address.
Who has taken an oath to respect SWAPO Party? I have not taken an oath to respect SWAPO Party and its officials in Parliament. Never. There's nothing in the oath that I hereby pledge to respect SWAPO Party and its ministers. There's nothing. Nothing. Yes, of course, in terms of human interaction, you want basic decency. And indeed, that basic decency we have exercised. We have been commending the Prime Minister. We have even given the President commentary on the last part of his State of the Nation. We have even, in the State of the Nation, taken the podium to say that we don't hate the President. We pray for the President. Where was Chris Jacobi? But you can see the class alliance, the Trasco alliance with the ruling elite is at work. And we have said it in our statement. The elite and the class alliance with capital is one society. The other society is the working class, the urban disenfranchised, the disempowered, the excluded structurally from the economy. Those two societies exist. So they push this thing of disrespect, but we also know that Informante has been anti-LPM. There was a funeral recently in Hendy's Bay that was attended by 3-4 governors of SWAPO, CROs of SWAPO, CEOs of SWAPO, but Informante takes a picture of leader Ivan Scraver, puts him in the newspaper and says he didn't observe social distancing. It was his funeral. He has broken the laws and the regulations, and tried to portray this as an LPM event. But it's a funeral for SWAPO councillor also. Respect from whom? Who defines respect? Who defines it? Is it the elite that must define what respect looks like? They have stolen from the people. Is that not disrespect? They have mismanaged state resources. That not disrespect. We are still speaking with words. We are speaking with words. So Namibians who are concerned about this matter of disrespect, don't worry about it. In executing our job, we respect you, the people of this country, that have voted for us, that have stood up for us when it was cold, it was unfashionable, when you were hungry. You stood with us. And when we go into parliament, we cannot become friendly boys and girls with those that have caused your lives, your children's lives, to be worse than before. When we have to be angry with people, it is for you. When we have to shout at somebody, it is on your behalf, for a better life for you. When we have a particular attitude that seems to suggest that we are constantly unhappy with certain things that the government is doing, it is because of our unrelenting solidarity and our undescribable love for you, for your child's future, for your grandchild's future. So forgive us when in this process of fighting for you in the best way we know how, when we also make you worry a little bit about what our strategy is. Our strategy is to be robust, to be direct, to be as clear as possible on the issues that affect you. It is not to disrespect you that has voted for us. Those of you that voted for us, please stay with us. Continue voting for us. Don't go. This is your home. Stay put. All things that happen are meant to happen. And at the end of the day, you will recognize that our strategies in Parliament are strategies that will bear fruit for you, and if not for you, for your children, and if not for your children, for your grandchildren. Hang in there. Stay strong. Don't be discouraged. Don't be demobilized. Stay together. We have not abandoned you.
Angela Prusa's efforts to decriminalize marijuana to benefit even the least educated in our society seem to be gaining some ground. I asked her to give us an update on her campaign.
I have managed to do a presentation for the government, for various ministers within the government, to basically present to them and discuss what the benefits of a cannabis industry would be for our country, especially because we've seen how this pandemic has impacted our economy and impacted industries. And then I've also basically handed in a proposal for law reform to look at the laws regarding cannabis, because those laws are unconstitutional, they're irrational, they infringe on our human rights, and they are outdated apartheid laws that are not based on evidence or science for that matter. So I think basically this corona pandemic has shown us that we need an industry that is not dependent upon imports and that is not dependent upon foreign tourism to sustain, to sustain jobs or to sustain industry. And so I feel that a hemp industry could prove really vital in benefiting our economy, to create jobs, to create empowerment for people, and to create, an industry, like a multi-sector industry, because it's not just cannabis we're talking about, it's hemp as well. And I do feel that the hemp industry, there should not really be this much debate around it, because if you go currently to any shop in Swakop or in Windhoek, you will find hemp products. You will find CBD oils on the shelves, you will find hemp powders, you will find clothing made from hemp. And so we see that these products are already in Namibia and they are being sold. So instead of importing these products, we could start our own industry, which will help revive our economy. So I'm really urging people to start getting behind this idea, to start doing their research, to start having their voices heard, to start looking at what the possibilities are of reviving industries like Ramatex, like a textile industry here in Namibia.
I asked Angela Prusa of the Cannabis and Hemp Association of Namibia to share her views on why she thinks that police brutality around cannabis is like a thing.
It's a lack of education and an unwillingness to actually look at the evidence that exists. You know, I really do think that the resources that are being given to law enforcement are being used incorrectly. You know, like cannabis cultivators and users are still being targeted at an alarming rate. Last week, you know, there's been like an older couple in their 60s that were arrested for cultivating, and their son, you know, and that's the thing, when these things happen, you're ultimately destroying communities because you're taking breadwinners out of families and you're criminalizing people. And then these people, once you have a criminal record, you know, it's really difficult to get a job, it's really difficult to get a mortgage at the bank, it's really difficult to start your life. And this is essentially non-violent offenders. This is people in the privacy of their own home, cultivating a few plants, you know, helping themselves ease their symptoms, especially when we're talking about older people, or recreationally enjoying, you know, their joint like someone would enjoy their glass of wine after work. And so I don't understand the reluctancy of law enforcement to engage in the subject, because the evidence of the harms of cannabis in comparison to the benefit of cannabis, you know, is widely being researched. And in this graph, as you can see, when we look at alcohol and tobacco, there was a study done in 2016 published in The Lancet. It's a evidence-based research that was done over numerous years looking at substances and their harms. And cannabis, the harms of cannabis are less than the harms of alcohol and tobacco. And these are substances that we regulate. And so I think, you know, when we compare alcohol and cigarettes to cannabis, cannabis has so much potential for therapeutic use, for industrial use, in comparison to tobacco and alcohol that have absolutely no therapeutic use or industrial use. So I really do hope that we can, in terms of like the government and in terms of our law enforcement and our policymakers, that we have to leave our own personal opinions and the stigma and the bias at the door and really look at the evidence and the research that has been done in regards to cannabis. And there is a lot of that research available. There's like, it's not finding a needle in a haystack. There's plenty of that available.
A teacher at a Christian school in Walfish Bay recently, lost focus and started spewing all kinds of hate speech and racism on a social media platform, just flabbergasting the nation following a recent report of a Zimbabwean national allegedly having been murdered for stealing glue. Girlfriend took to social media and expressed herself.
First of all, I would like to apologize for the comments made on social media. I ask that you forgive me. I acted out of anger and responded to comments made to me, racist comments for that matter, white bitch, Boer woman. Unfortunately, those comments were deleted, yet I'm the only one being victimized. My comments were not meant to be racist, but I know that what I said is hate speech. My family, friends, and school were not involved. I take full responsibility for my actions, and I am very sorry.
Needless to say, Darling has since been fired from the school and been criminally charged, Shem. Some members of the legal fraternity delved deep into their pockets and their hearts to ensure that some Namibian families who were really suffering under the wrath of the COVID-19 regulations and this merciless winter had a little extra warmth by donating 20 blankets. This week on It's a Wrap Gives Back.
sê baie dankie vir hierdie kombers. Hulle is so lekker sag en die kindertjies sal baie lekker slag. Ek het niks gehad om vir hulle kombers te koop nie. Volgens COVID-19 ons kan nie gaan zoela nie, ons moet net by die huis bly. En die sang kambas soos hierdie, hulle is baie koud. Terwyl jy voel jy die kombers raak nie. Die ene is daar groot blydskap wat julle vir ons gemaak het en ek sê baie dankie van die hart af. As jy bid, dan gee iemand vir jou iets. Is God wat vir jou deur iemand iets gee. Ons het ook daai komberse was ons geou gewees. Ons het daai is nou die laaste enetjie wat ons het wat daar staan. Daarna het ons al hierdie jare nie by iemand iets gekry nie en ek is baie bly.
Happy foot papa ndulu nene shasha tu kupunu joshili. Gashpe fenga ha mikuchango shi atulongo atustala kelege na mimi na iya longo ahupweke mokutoli ni mayonga. Kato atole ko makende tatwala go scrape yachi.
Haya monda pandula ko ikumba fa ipape wasasi. Mumbo takala ike tunolwe ponga shonkulu po watu iweke mo ikumba imaike tashi. Tano mo posini ngo panya ko kwashiri mo kumona ikumba fai. Sai mweka ipa meme mweka ipoka na kangeke. Tuji tena wasi mo kumona makwafa. Sai mumbo tuli ba itatu. Ami ilongo unona rangi halongo. Atu hupunu juicy.
And with that, it's a wrap. Thank you for watching and stay woke with It's a Wrap by following us on our social media pages.